Now, Kinsey, it's awards season in the US. The Sussex's Netflix series has been nominated for a Hollywood Critics Award, but it's been snubbed apparently from the Emmy shortlist. Can you give us
Prince Harry's Dorian Awards departure? Prince Harry recently caused a stir at the Dorian TV Awards, with many labeling his behavior as another instance of perceived entitlement. Reports indicate Harry exited the event after organizers declined to refer to him as His Royal Highness. Despite stepping back as a working royal 4 years ago, Harry reportedly expected to be addressed by this title. However, the Society of LGBTQ Entertainment Critics, GALECA, hosts of the annual Dorian Awards honoring television excellence, did not comply. This led to a public incident that reportedly left attendees in Hollywood quite surprised.
One of the founders of this awards show, and how he constantly lets Kristen Stewart win because he's admittedly obsessed with her and knows.
Prince Harry's Dorian Awards departure. The full story. Prince Harry's attendance at the Dorian TV Awards as a guest quickly spiraled into controversy even before the ceremony began. Insiders reveal that Harry's team had submitted a request for him to be addressed on stage as His Royal Highness, a request GALECA flatly refused. The reason for the refusal was straightforward. Under the official Megxit agreement with the palace, Harry and Meghan are not permitted to use their royal titles in public or commercial settings. GALECA simply adhered to protocol, with no intention of insult or political statement. However, Harry reportedly didn't perceive it that way. When the show commenced, and he was introduced without the HRH title, witnesses observed an immediate shift in his demeanor. Sitting rigidly in the second row, he appeared agitated, whispering intensely to a staff member beside him. Then, mid-segment, he abruptly stood up, face flushed, and marched out of the room. One producer who witnessed the scene commented that he looked like a man who thought the world owed him something and couldn't believe the room disagreed.
A ton of people resign from.
The audience was left confused.
During the aftermath of Harry's departure, the audience at the Dorian Awards was left visibly confused, with murmurs spreading throughout the venue after Prince Harry's abrupt exit. His departure wasn't just dramatic, many found it revealing. The situation was made even more absurd by the fact that Harry was not the focus of the evening. He was merely a guest, not a presenter, nominee, or honoree. Yet, his overreaction effectively hijacked the event, turning the attention to himself. His behavior reinforced the public perception that Harry isn't comfortable being a private citizen. He seems to still desire the profound reverence of royal status, without the accompanying responsibilities he chose to leave behind. As one journalist put it, Harry doesn't want the royal responsibility, but he still wants the royal reverence, and Hollywood just gave him a very loud no. The Dorian Awards organizers have since earned widespread respect across the entertainment industry for their refusal to back down. Social media erupted in support for GALECA, with fans praising their decision to treat Harry like any other guest. The consensus was clear. He can't demand royal treatment in America.
How about this? Frogs it. Couldn't happen to a nicer couple. Harry and Meghan have been kicked out of their Frogmore cottage in Windsor after the publication of Spare, or as South Park would have it, Wah! The book in which basically Harry...
Reactions and Meghan's absence. The incident at the Dorian Awards quickly garnered strong reactions. One LGBTQ advocate succinctly posted, "This is Hollywood, not Buckingham Palace," highlighting the differing expectations of royal protocol in the United States. Even A-list celebrities present at the awards reportedly applauded GALECA's decision behind closed doors. One actor was quoted as saying, "Finally, someone stood up to the Sussex circus." Far from being labeled disrespectful, GALECA, is now being hailed as fearless and principled for their stance. Curiously, Meghan Markle was absent from the awards. While her non-attendance was not officially explained, many speculate that she may have anticipated the potential for public tension surrounding Harry's presence and his expectations regarding royal titles.
Of a plank like Prince Harry, as he was once known, now known as the Duke of Netflix, or Hazza. He's not only kiboshed everybody else's name in the book, including the woman who he lost his virginity to, but he's also kiboshed his own name and kiboshed, I suspect, his own career.
Meghan's absence and lingering questions. Meghan's absence from the Dorian Awards has been widely interpreted as a deliberate choice to avoid situations where her legitimacy or titles might be challenged. Her decision to remain in Montecito, leaving Harry to manage the fallout alone, has been seen as highly symbolic. Many observers viewed the scene as a man clinging to a past that no longer exists, losing his composure in an environment that has clearly moved on. However, this incident was merely the initial spark. The subsequent events and the reactions from the media, Buckingham Palace, and even American veterans proved to be even more revealing. The full scope of the fallout is yet to be seen.
She is the one and only Angela Levin. Angela, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Well, I mean, I couldn't be, I suppose, more pleased to see that finally King Charles has seen reason. And I like the fact that he's done it quite quietly so that nobody really knew, nobody could accuse the royal family of being petty or...
The unraveling of the Sussex brand. Prince Harry's angry departure from the Dorian TV Awards wasn't just an isolated incident, it was a stark illustration of a growing reality. He no longer seems to truly belong anywhere. This event highlighted the ongoing collapse of the Sussex brand. In real time, in Britain, he's largely seen as having deserted his royal duties. Conversely, in Hollywood, the very place he sought to embrace after leaving the UK, he's increasingly viewed as a nuisance, entitled, difficult, and unpredictable. The world he chose is now seemingly turning its back on him, leaving him in a state of limbo, no longer a working royal.
Well, I think it's been it's a silence that's speaking very loudly.
Yeah.
I think it's quite right. I think so many people are getting agitated that although they realise the royal family, particularly King Charles, wanted to be dignified and not get into a row, tit-for-tat row.
Harry's identity crisis and public humiliation. Prince Harry finds himself in a difficult position. He's no longer a working royal, yet he hasn't quite managed to establish himself as a précoce, respected celebrity, either. His attempts to merge these two identities have clearly faltered, and the Dorian Awards incident starkly confirmed what many had already suspected. Without his royal title, Harry doesn't command attention. He demands it. As Harry departed the venue in frustration, the paparazzi were waiting, their flashes capturing every humiliating step. Images of his clenched jaw, tightly shut lips, and stormy expression soon flooded tabloids worldwide. By morning, the world saw a disgraced prince stomping out of yet another event. But this time, the narrative felt different.
Very smart things to do. I just hope that they change the locks so they can't sort of creep in without sort of, anybody noticing. But I think it is about time. Harry has said he doesn't like the UK. He's much happier in America.
Widespread condemnation and image damage. This wasn't just fodder for gossip columns. Mainstream news outlets quickly picked up the story. CNN, The Guardian, and even BBC News ran headlines such as Prince Harry's title tantrum and No crown, no courtesy. Social media was flooded with memes mocking Harry for expecting royal treatment in a setting that didn't acknowledge his former status. As anticipated, The damage to his public image was widespread and brutal.
It's got 5 bedrooms. Also, they spent £2.5 million of the public money renovating it. It certainly did need a renovation, but they were doing that knowing that they were going to scarp her quite soon after it was...
Palace perspective and brand erosion. Buckingham Palace officially declined to comment on the incident, but insiders suggest this latest public outburst further validates King Charles's firm stance on Prince Harry. It's widely known that Charles has maintained a distance, excluding Harry from significant royal events and curtailing privileges. This tantrum at the Dorian Awards appears to vindicate that decision, with reports of a palace aide remarking, "Imagine if he were still in the firm. The monarchy would be dealing with daily disasters." Harry's behavior seemingly continues to justify the royal family's firm detachment, and he appears too blinded by ego to realize it. Financial fallout and shifting public opinion. Brand analysts indicate that Harry's meltdown could not have come at a worse time. With their Netflix deal reportedly in limbo and Spotify having cut ties, the Sussexes have grown increasingly dependent on public sympathy and media appearances for their financial stability. However, each public outburst from Harry erodes the dwindling goodwill he once enjoyed. Once hailed as the People's Prince, he's now being labeled the Hollywood has-been. Corporate sponsors are reportedly pulling back, and PR advisors are distancing themselves. As one industry insider plainly put it, "You can't market a man who melts down every time his ego isn't fed." Perhaps most damaging is the dramatic try-through shift in public opinion. For years, Harry garnered sympathy as the royal rebel, the wounded son who escaped royal rigidity. But that sympathy has seemingly expired. Polls conducted after the event show that over 70% of viewers believe GALECA made the right call by refusing to use his title. Online, users mocked Harry's reaction with #TantrumKing. Trending within hours, the message is undeniably clear. The world has moved on, but Harry hasn't. A man lost between worlds. Prince Harry's outburst at the Dorian TV Awards was more than just a bad night. It's a profound reflection of a man lost between worlds. He's no longer royal, no longer widely respected, and increasingly unwanted. He left the monarchy seeking freedom, yet now appears bound by bitterness, entitlement, and public rejection. This raises a poignant question. Is this the inevitable downfall of a man who seemingly traded duty for drama? Or is there still a path to redemption? Harry didn't just walk out of the Dorian TV Awards, he walked straight into another public disaster. A man once celebrated for his charm and courage now finds himself battling uncontrollable headlines, audiences who no longer sympathize, and institutions that refuse to indulge his fantasy of royalty without responsibility. This incident wasn't truly about a forgotten title. It was about ego, identity, and a man who willingly left the monarchy but still demands to be treated like a king. He's now learning the hard way that you simply can't have it both ways. GALECA's quiet refusal to bend wasn't an insult. It was a mirror showing Harry exactly what he's become. A figure more known for outbursts than honor, more about drama than duty. If this night taught us anything, it's that titles don't make a man, character does. And in the eyes of the public, Harry's character is cracking under pressure. From Buckingham to Hollywood, doors are closing. The question now isn't whether Harry will reclaim his former place, but what comes next for a man at such a crossroads? Is there any place left for Harry? The question now isn't whether Prince Harry will reclaim his former position, but whether there's any place left for him at all. The persistent mystery of Archie and Lilibet's DNA. Before you go, there's a lingering mystery that's becoming increasingly uncomfortable. The unanswered questions surrounding Archie and Lilibet's DNA. It's the very mystery Meghan and Harry seem terrified to address, the one the palace entirely avoids, and the one that could potentially unravel everything they've built. Why has there never been a publicly acknowledged and confirmed DNA test? Why was there no royal christening for Lilibet?